It was 2:43 a.m. when my phone erupted with a piercing alert, the kind that sounds like a warning siren in a war zone. The screen glowed red, flashing a message that sent my heart into overdrive. Unauthorized movement detected. Project Vanguard in transit. I bolted upright, my pulse hammering. For a moment, I thought it was a glitch. Then I heard a faint clank of chains and the deep growl of a diesel engine outside. I stumbled out of bed, barefoot, and raced to the front yard. There, under the dim streetlights, my battered old truck was being hauled onto a flatbed, its taillights shrinking into the night. I shouted, not out of anger, but pure panic. That wasn't just my truck. It was a classified military prototype, wired to Department of Defense systems, and those clueless tow drivers had no idea they'd just kicked a hornet's nest. As the satellite tracker on my phone blinked furiously, I muttered under my breath, "Linda, you've just unleashed a federal storm over your obsession with curb appeal." Weeks earlier, I'd rolled Project Vanguard into my driveway in suburban Oak Ridge, a tidy little neighborhood outside Richmond, Virginia. To the untrained eye, the truck was a junkyard relic-dented fenders, chipped olive green paint, and a windshield streaked with grime. But beneath that facade was a cutting-edge AI surveillance platform, one I was testing as a civilian contractor for a Pentagon stealth project. My orders were clear. Keep it low profile, don't move it unnecessarily, and keep nosy neighbors at bay. Easy enough, until Linda Grayson, the HOA president, set her sights on it. Linda was in her late 50s, with a platinum bob haircut and a glare that could wilt flowers. She ruled Oak Ridge like a dictator, her HOA handbook clutched like a battle plan. The day she spotted Vanguard, she nearly dropped her iced latte. By noon, a fluorescent pink violation notice was taped to my mailbox. Vehicle violates community aesthetic standards. I laughed, shredded it, and figured that was the end of it. I was wrong. Linda wasn't one to back down. That afternoon, she marched to my lawn, her terrier yapping at her heels, phone recording as she demanded I remove the eyesore immediately. I showed her my exemption letter from the project director, explaining the truck's government status. She scoffed, called it fake military nonsense, and stormed off. What followed was a circus of petty aggression caution tape across my driveway one day, photos snapped from behind my neighbor's shrubs the next. I reported her to the HOA board, but Linda was on the board. The other members, like timid Carl, just shrugged. "She once fined me for a crooked mailbox," Carl whispered at a block party. "You're in her crosshairs now." I escalated things, sending a formal cease and desist to the HOA, CCing my DOD contact, Agent Harper. He called me, voice grim. "If they touch that truck, we won't just send a tow truck. We'll send badges and containment teams." I promised to stay vigilant. I shouldn't have let my guard down. That night, under a moonless sky, Linda struck. The tow truck she hired was unmarked, clearly a back alley operation. I sprinted outside in pajamas, waving frantically, but the driver ignored me. By the time I activated Vanguard's lockdown protocol, it was too late. My phone flashed a chilling alert. Defense breach code 907. AI containment activated. That meant black SUVs. That meant helicopters. That meant trouble I couldn't explain to my neighbors. By 4:30 a.m., Oak Ridge was a federal operation zone. Matte black vehicles rolled through the gates, agents in plain suits knocking on doors, collecting ring camera footage. Linda, in a satin robe, stepped onto her porch, smirking. "Finally, someone's dealing with that junk heap," she said. An agent flashed a badge, and her smile vanished. Her face cycled through confusion, fear, then panic as she was escorted inside for questioning. Agent Harper called at dawn. "Your HOA president just triggered a national security alert. We're retrieving Vanguard from the tow yard. Don't go anywhere. You're the only one who can deactivate it if they've tampered with it." My stomach sank. If the tow crew had tried to hotwire it, they could have triggered a lockdown or worse, scrambled its encrypted GPS, sending false signals to DoD servers. A black sedan pulled up, and an agent nodded. "Mr. Thompson, let's secure Vanguard." We sped to the tow yard, where the manager, a grizzled man named Gus, was sweating bullets. "That lady paid cash, said it was abandoned," he stammered. I couldn't open the doors, and an alarm kept blaring some code. "What is that thing?" Harper silenced him. I approached Vanguard, badge in hand. Its sensors recognized me, the windshield flashing "Authenticate." I swiped the badge, and the locks clicked open. Inside, The console logged multiple breach attempts. Someone had tried jump-starting it, and the AI had recorded unauthorized voices. I entered my override code, and the system calmed. The next hours were a blur of statements and diagnostics. Harper confirmed no internal systems were compromised, but the DoD was filing charges against Linda and possibly Gus, though his cooperation might spare him. By noon, Vanguard was back in my driveway, flanked by 2 unmarked sedans. Harper smirked. Brace for a media frenzy. This won't stay quiet. He was right. By evening, news vans swarmed Oak Ridge. A neighbor leaked the story, and headlines screamed. HOA tows secret military truck, sparks federal raid. Linda, undeterred, marched to my yard at dusk, HOA rulebook in hand, demanding I remove the dangerous vehicle. 2 agents intercepted her, showing a federal document that silenced her. She retreated, trembling, as they advised her to await legal counsel. The HOA held an emergency meeting that night, excluding me. Word spread fast. The board was fracturing. Members who'd backed Linda backpedaled, fearing liability. One, an older man named Walter, left an apology note on my doorstep, claiming he didn't know Vanguard was military. The real shock came the next day when Major Evelyn Pierce, Vanguard's project lead, called. This is a formal security breach. Congress is being briefed. A civilian tampering with classified equipment is a nightmare. We may need to lock down Oak Ridge for investigation. I nearly choked. Linda's vendetta had turned our suburb into a federal control zone. Over the weekend, the neighborhood buzzed with tension. Agents multiplied, joined by a surveillance van and a tech truck with a satellite dish. A drone flew over my house, only to be grounded by an agent's pointed finger. Linda stayed hidden, but her silence felt like a storm brewing. Meanwhile, I tried to stay normal, mowing my lawn, repainting my mailbox while living in a spy thriller. The feds dug into the HOA's records, uncovering a cesspool of misconduct. Linda had misused funds for personal projects, a community gazebo that was her private patio, security cameras routed to her home. She'd towed cars for years, targeting anyone who crossed her, whether they broke rules or not. Her house was raided at dawn, agents carting off boxes and computers. Linda shouted about her rights, but no one listened. A neighbor's viral video, captioned, HOA Tyrant Falls, sealed her infamy. The HOA collapsed. 3 board members resigned, including Carl, who mailed apologies to every resident. Sarah, a level-headed board member, held a meeting on my lawn fitting, since the clubhouse was still taped off. 40 neighbors showed up, proposing to dissolve the old leadership and elect a transparent board. Someone nominated me. I declined, but offered to advise. The community was waking up. The DoD wasn't done. Major Pierce sent a letter outlining Phase 2. Vanguard would stay in my driveway, and Oak Ridge would become a civilian test grid for urban integration. Linda's crusade had made our neighborhood a Pentagon pilot zone. Sarah laughed when I told her. She wanted your truck gone. Now we're a military experiment because of her. Linda's downfall was complete when residents voted 51% to oust her, per her bylaws. That night, she snapped, smashing a picture frame in her driveway, screaming at me. You and your war machine ruined everything, she shrieked. Agents watched, unfazed, as she stormed inside. By morning, she was gone, her house packed up, fleeing to a relative's home. Her charges interfering with classified equipment and financial misconduct loomed large. Oak Ridge exhaled. The HOA, under Sarah's interim leadership, refunded wrongful fines and drafted fair bylaws. Vanguard, freshly painted with a subtle DoD logo, became a local icon. Kids waved at it. Neighbors nodded respectfully. A news feature aired, sparking nationwide debates about HOA overreach and property rights. My inbox is filled with stories of other Lindas nationwide. Sitting in Vanguard's driver's seat one evening, its screen greeted me. Welcome back, David. System nominal. Phase 2 active. I smiled. The fight wasn't about a truck, it was about power versus principle. Linda's tyranny crumbled, exposing a community ready to rebuild. Peace wasn't just possible, it was here. What do you think? Have you faced a Linda in your life, wielding power to bully others? Share your stories in the comments. Let's talk about standing up to tyranny and injustice. Your voice matters.